One can imagine living in a building with 8 symmetrical walls, or in a structure made entirely of enameled steel panels. There are 10 architectural styles that were once highly popular, but are now rarely seen in modern construction. The idea of octagonal houses, which offered better air circulation, natural light, and more efficient use of space, was popularized in the mid-19th century by Orson Squire Fowler. With the same perimeter, these structures provided approximately 20% more living area than traditional rectangular homes, making them economically appealing and energy efficient. Many featured flat roofs with a central cupola, wraparound porches, and advanced heating and water collection systems for their time. Fowler's own home, known as Fowler's Folly, was so extravagant that it was abandoned and demolished in 1897. Despite its apparent advantages, the style did not gain widespread adoption, and its popularity waned by the early 1900s. Nevertheless, some well-preserved examples, such as Longwood in Mississippi and the Octagon House in Watertown, Wisconsin, still exist today. Asymmetrical facades, spacious porches, and decorative wooden carvings, often complemented by patterned shingles and turrets, are hallmarks of the Queen Anne style. This architectural movement succeeded the French-inspired Second Empire style and gained popularity in the United States between 1880 and 1910. American homes in this style were more whimsical, featuring diverse roof lines and intricate details compared to their British counterparts. The style spread nationwide, influencing urban townhouses, mansions, and even small cottages. After 1900, its popularity began to wane, giving way to more streamlined colonial revival designs, although some elements, such as wraparound porches, persisted into the 1920s. The most famous example of this style is the Carson Mansion in Eureka, California, recognized as one of the most photographed Victorian buildings in the country. The emergence of the American Foursquare home was a response to the excessive ornamentation of 19th century Victorian architecture, offering a simpler and more functional design in its place. This style was prevalent from the mid-1890s to the late 1930s. These homes typically featured 2.5 stories and a square, boxy shape, maximizing interior space on small urban lots. Also known as the prairie box, it shared many characteristics with prairie-style architecture pioneered by Frank Lloyd Wright. Key features included a large front porch, a hipped roof with a central dormer, and built-in craftsman-style furniture. Many of these homes were sold by mail order, with companies like Sears and Aladdin offering ready-to-assemble kits. The style was particularly popular in Midwestern urban neighborhoods and streetcar suburbs, where there was high demand for practical and affordable housing. If you enjoy these architectural history insights, subscribe to the channel to not miss future stories. The American craftsman style, originating in the early 20th century, was part of the arts and crafts movement, which emphasized handcrafted quality and the use of natural materials. It gained particular popularity in California, where small single-family homes known as California bungalows became widespread. Buildings in this style, inspired by prairie architecture and the shingle style, featured low-pitched roofs, exposed beams, and built-in furniture. Gustav Stickley promoted the style through his magazine, The Craftsman. Unlike the British movement, American designers aimed to make handcrafted homes accessible to the middle class. By the 1930s, the popularity of this trend declined, giving way to more modern architectural movements. One of the most prominent examples of craftsman architecture is the Gamble House in Pasadena, California, built by the Green brothers between 1908 and 1909. The shotgun house is a narrow, rectangular structure that was widespread in the southern states from the late 19th century into the 1920s. These homes rarely exceeded 3.5 meters, about 12 feet, in width, with rooms arranged one behind the other, lacking hallways. The name is believed to have originated from the idea that a shotgun blast fired through the front door could pass unimpeded through the entire house and out the back. This building type presumably originated in New Orleans, influenced by Haitian and West African architecture in the early 1800s. These homes were inexpensive to build and allowed for high-density housing in growing cities. They were often built close together to maximize land use and improve natural ventilation in hot climates. In the mid-20th century, many were demolished during urban renewal projects, but recent gentrification processes have led to their restoration in some areas. Elvis Presley was born in a shotgun house in Tupelo, Mississippi, which now operates as a museum. In the early 20th century, an architectural style known as Tudor Revival gained popularity in the United States. Wealthy Americans in the 1920s and 1930s often chose these homes for suburban living, drawn by the aesthetic of historic Europe. Inspired by medieval English structures, this style was associated with old-world charm and craftsmanship. Its distinctive features included steeply pitched roofs, tall brick chimneys, and decorative half-timbering. Many such homes from that era still survive in New York suburbs, including Westchester County, Englewood, and Teaneck. After World War II, interest in this style faded with the advent of more modern and practical housing types. By the 1970s and 1980s, American developers began to simplify the style, replacing natural wood with synthetic alternatives for easier maintenance. A distinctive feature of Dutch colonial revival is its characteristic gambrel roof, resembling a barn roof with wide, overhanging eaves. This style gained popularity in the early 20th century as part of Americans' broader fascination with colonial architecture. It drew inspiration from the original 17th and 18th century homes of Dutch settlers, built predominantly in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Unlike earlier stone and brick structures, Revival-style homes often featured wood siding and large dormer windows for added light and space. Designs typically included a symmetrical facade with a central front door and decorative shutters. This architectural trend remained popular until the 1930s, especially in the northeastern U.S. One of the most famous examples is the house at 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York, which became infamous due to the Amityville horror legend. To address the post-World War II housing shortage, lustrong prefabricated homes made entirely of steel were developed in the late 1940s. Industrialist Carl Strandland designed them as a durable, low-maintenance alternative to traditional wooden structures. Each home was assembled from a kit that included over 3,000 enameled steel panel components. Lustron Corporation had ambitious plans to produce tens of thousands of these homes, but financial difficulties and government intervention led to its bankruptcy in 1950. Despite a short production run, over 2,000 Lustron homes were built, many of which survive today. Their interiors, with metal walls and built-in cabinets, were designed for easy cleaning, and some even featured a unique combined washer-dishwasher machine. Some Lustron homes were exported to Venezuela to house oil industry workers. These unique architectural experiments from the past are of great interest. To learn more of such stories, consider subscribing to the channel. After World War II, a type of mid-century modern home known as the atomic ranch became widespread. It was a variation of the classic ranch style, but with a sleeker, more contemporary design and open floor plans. The ranch style itself was popularized by architect Cliff May in the 1930s, who drew inspiration from California's Spanish colonial homes. By the 1950s, 9 out of 10 new homes in America were built in this style due to their affordability and practicality. Atomic ranch homes featured large picture windows and clerestory windows, as well as flat or V-shaped butterfly roofs, which created a sense of unity between indoor and outdoor spaces. They also featured bold color schemes and futuristic design elements, reflecting the space-age spirit. One of the most renowned developers who helped spread this style across California was Joseph Eichler. A bold architectural style known as brutalism emerged in the 1950s and reached its peak popularity in the 1960s and 1970s. These buildings were characterized by raw concrete, stark geometric forms, and a minimalist aesthetic that completely rejected decorative embellishments. Inspired by modernist architects like Le Corbusier, this style prioritized function over form. Many brutalist buildings were constructed as social housing or university campuses, especially in socialist countries where concrete symbolized equality. However, by the late 1970s, the style's popularity declined as it became associated with urban decay and cold, unwelcoming designs. Despite this, some brutalist buildings have gained cultural significance over time and are now protected as architectural landmarks. The term brutalism itself derives from the French phrase béton brut, meaning raw concrete, rather than from the word brutal.